Alright, so welcome to Content 101. It's time for y'all to learn. This stuff's important. I'll tell you why. Why is this important? Alright, so if you get your content game up, you get the money, get the clout, you can leverage your brand for sponsorship because, like, they're looking for players who have the stuff, alright? They're actually looking. Um, and it's probably going to be required for being in esports industry as a player. Because they want more people who like actually have a brand already made instead of like picking up players to try to make a brand. Uh, why you should listen to me? Well, number one, you shouldn't because like everything I'm gonna tell you, you are completely able to throw away once you get the groove of things and try to like once you get in the groove of things, you should experiment. I'm just giving you like a baseline of stuff so you can learn and like be ahead of the curve. And this is just me like self-aggrandizing myself. Have a super fast growing YouTube channel. Got to 2,000 subs already in like the course of 2 years. Um, yeah, let's skip all that. So the most important thing about content creation is the big three skills: video making skill, marketing skill, and technical skill. All right. Technical skill is all about like how you work the equipment. Marketing skill is how you market yourself, and video making skill is literally just like creating a video. Content creation has like a actual honest to goodness formula to it, where technical skill plus video making skill is like the video itself. Your marketing skill is a modifier. So if you have a good marketing skill and you make an okay video, it still does well. And then you have clout, which is why you see like top players who are like super good at who like get super popular videos, but they're also trash at making videos, but the cloud kind of carries them. You want these skills, you want to work on these skills, so when you have the clout, you'll be super ahead of the curve because like when they make trash videos and have clout, but like you want to have good videos and have clout. That's like good on top of good on top of good. All right. So technical skills, it turns out it's not that much. Like what you need to do, make content is like a webcam, a mic, recording software, and editing software. Um, recording software, just like how you record video game footage, just use like OBS. If you have a capture card, just move it through OBS. If you're playing on PC, just you can literally just use OBS to like pick that up. There's like tutorials online to help you do that. Editing software, you got your options of like free and paid. I go over like the free and paid options. You got DaVinci Resolve. It's actually like super good for like a free program. Um, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I used to. Never mind. I should say that out loud. There's also Apple Cut. There's also Apple Final Cut Pro if you're using Mac. Uh, for audio editing software, you have Audacity. Honestly, everybody should use Audacity. Like even when it comes to Adobe Audition, you can do like a little extra stuff, but it's like it's just not worth the price. And for image editing software, you have GIMP, which is like the big alternative, the big free alternative. And you have Pixlr and Photopea, which is basically like they're browser based and they're relatively new, but they're pretty good. And then for paid, you have Photoshop, the classic, and Paint Studio Pro. Now with equipment, always go as cheap as possible. The best equipment does not mean the best video. Um, Webcams are optional. 30 FPS, as long as you're 30 FPS, 220, 220p, people will not know the difference. Like, people will literally not know the difference. Like, people have screwed themselves all the time buying the most expensive crap possible and then not using, then it's just like in the hole. When it comes to equipment, if you have to put money into things, put more money into audio. Because like, bad video does not mean a bad video. Bad audio means a bad video. Because nobody's gonna like look at a video when people talk like this all the time. Yeah, that's stupid. That like people click off of that so fast. And most people watch like videos in the background, so just make sure like you put your money into mics and stuff. Like for you have um there are two types of mics, at least for like the beginner level, that you have to worry about. You got the USB mics. The most popular ones right now are like the Yeti Blue, the Yeti Snowball. Actually, I should type. Let me type that up for y'all. Yeti Blue. So you get to see what that looks like. If you've seen people with something like this, it's like $100, but you can find it in a pawn shop for like much less. I bought mine for like $30. And this. And he had the Snowball, which should be cheaper for the last time I checked. Yeah, that's like $40. They're both good microphones, and yeah, I just recommend them. ET20. The next one is XLR, which is like they're more like the medium kind of. They're both like the medium shoot, I'm dying out here. XLR microphones are the ones that have like the little cord to them at the bottom, like these. These are the big boys, or rather like the low end, the big boys, like the AT2020, which is the one I actually use for my videos. They're like $100, and like literally, they're like top YouTubers that just use those. But in order to use those, you need something to. Your PC doesn't natively use XLR, so you need something like a. As soon as I find it, you need something like a adapter for it, which like the one I use is the Foresight, but once again, always go cheaper. So if you can find one cheaper or find one in the pawn shop, go for it. Alright, now we're moving on to video making. Video making important parts: format, finding your voice, workflow, story flow. You got some skills, which I actually skipped that and forgot to edit this out, and you got editing. For formats, you have like 4 big ones. You got streams, which is good to connect to fans. It grows super fans. Like if you have super fans, they stick with you until like you're done with content creation. The only negative is like it's real time and doesn't like stick well. Like nobody watch honest to goodness stream VODs anymore unless they're like heavily edited. But at that point, it becomes a long video, and plus it's like energy draining. Long videos, they are definitely the high risk, high reward of video making. Honestly, if you try to make those, I do not recommend it. But they take a lot of editing, and even if you make it really good, sometimes you do the algorithm wrong and it just doesn't like blow up as it should. Normal videos are vanilla, but they're stable. Like that's the ones people should do. You don't get big gains, but you get constant low gains, which is like, let's say nickel and dime. This is the good stuff. Then you got shorts. They are a whole lot less work. They're like really popular right now, but like they do not stick well. You have to make a lot of shorts that like hit constantly in order to grow your brand. All right. The basic workflow is like 3 points. You got your pre-production, your production, and your post-production. Pre-production is like all the research that goes into it, like search engine. I can explain this later. Creating your title, creating your thumbnail, which I actually do recommend you start first. It actually becomes harder if you like do it in post-production. You outline what your video is about, and you do your research for what's going to be the video. Production, scripting, storyboarding, and recording, which depending on what type of videos you are, like you can kind of skip some of these steps. Like if you're doing normal videos, I wouldn't recommend storyboarding. That's like extra work. And maybe in scripting is like extra work. If you are able to talk off the hip, then you like cutting out the scripting phase is like saves a bunch of time. And then you also recording, so like recording everything you need. Post production, editing, of course, tagging, of course, and scheduling when it comes out. I think I spelled that wrong. Story flow. Now it sounds like it gets really artsy here, but like every video you should do, every piece of content, no matter how short, how long, yada yada yada. Even if you're doing a stream, should have a beginning, middle, and end. Alright, so beginning you need your hook. Like as fast as possible, you should get people to think, why should I be watching? What would the viewer gain from watching whatever you put out? Like, there should be stakes. There should definitely be stakes. Middle, good storytelling that keeps people engaged because, like, you don't want people to, like, nod off in the middle because, like, there's actually stuff to. I'll tell you about that later. And at the end, you should actually ask people to sub to you. It's actually a thing. It actually boosts, like, boosts your sub numbers. It may seem a bit scummy to do that, but, like, do it anyway. And like maybe put a little teaser to end so they get excited for your next video so they actually come back. Um, Now we go to the big one, finding your voice, which I'm not going to explain that to you. Ludwig is going to explain that to you. So it's video time. All right, before I play, does anybody have any questions?
Oh, I just came back. What did I miss? Oh,
Man,
never mind.
look at the
You're on
recording.
deafen too, dumbass.
All right, all right. So angry, man. All right, so let's play.
So I tweeted out, like this tweet if you want to become a big streamer. And I tweeted this for two reasons. One, I wanted Twitter likes. Please follow me on Twitter, for the love of God. I don't have enough followers, and I need more because
I'm not getting no audio,
Yeah, I
man.
hear audio.
No audio?
Is it performance art?
No.
No, because you're streaming your whole PC, it won't give audio to stream that specific.
Oh, okay. That is interesting.
Damn, Gummy, you want to teach the class?
Let me.
I mean,
Gummy got the glasses on right now with the freckles.
Not really,
I'm saying.
All right, you good?
Person. I want to be great person. Great person.
Y'all hear it now?
1 million, big person,
Yes.
better person, better person.
All right, good.
And also, I was genuinely curious how many people want the job of a streamer. I remember Mr. Beast tweeted something similar maybe a few months ago about being a YouTuber, and it had hundreds of thousands of likes. I think people like the idea of being a streamer or YouTuber or content creator really in any fashion because, well, let's just be frank, it allows you to play video games for a living, make your own hours, and potentially make buku bucks. And so I thought it would be helpful if I imparted some of my knowledge to Twitch chat and to YouTube on how to make it as a streamer. At least as far as I know. I'm not the end-all authority on this. I really don't believe that I am. But I think that I've never really seen a big streamer talk about it. Either because they don't want to, or most likely because they're just lazy and can play video games and get more viewers anyway than making a 20-slide PowerPoint presentation that probably took them a few hours and they misspelled a lot, and don't make fun of them for doing that. So that's what I did. And we're going to take a look at it here today. All the knowledge I have rolled up into one PowerPoint presentation. And the PowerPoint presentation is called How to Make It Big as a Streamer. That is the entire goal of all this, is making it big as a streamer. You know, because it's not that fun to stream and not have viewers or not make money from it. So I get it. I get it. A lot of people want this job, and this is the start. Why listen to me? That's a fair question.
Actually,
well,
no,
I'll tell you
what.
what.
It's actually a certain point. All right, so now we found it. There it goes.
Why do you want? What do you want out of it? Let's just do a quick poll in chat. How many people want to be streamers? So it's like most people in this chat like the idea of being a streamer. All right, every single person who said yes, whether you said it to yourself or you voted, whatever it is, you need to do this right now. Write this down. This is not a joke. I'm being very serious. I want you to write this down. I know it's a bit corny. All right? Try to do it on pen and paper. If you don't have it, you can do it on your phone notes and take a screenshot.
Actually,
but
do it.
really, actually do this. Write this down.
This is no joke.
3 things. First of all, if you want to be a streamer, when are you going to start? Set a hard start date when you're actually going to start. If you've already started, maybe this is the date that you're going to start your YouTube or start a new series or whatever it is. Just write some date where you're going to start achieving something you've been saying you're going to do. Number 2, write your goals for 1 year out. This can be for the start of 2022, maybe one exact year, maybe a few months. It doesn't really matter. All you need to do is have a set period of time and goals you would like to achieve by the end of that set period of time. Now, look, this is not your end goals. If you want to be the biggest streamer in the world, you don't have to write, I want to be the biggest streamer in the world by 2022. It's not really realistic. But you can write goals on the way to your final goal. And it's okay if you don't have everything figured out. At least write something down that you would like to do. And hey, this doesn't have to be numbers. Like, streaming doesn't necessarily imply you need to be a big streamer. Maybe your goal is just to make a community that you really like being a part of. Maybe it's just to record all of your Rocket League gameplay, in which case it's very easy to achieve your goals. Success isn't based on how big of a streamer you are. It's based off the goals you set and your ability to achieve them in a certain time frame. All right, that's what I think, at least. That's how I've done things, and that's what I'm telling you to do. It's my advice to you. And then the final thing to write down, 3 to 5 creators you want to emulate. Not necessarily that you like, because maybe you like Shroud, but you don't frag like Shroud frags. So write someone that you like that you think you could emulate. Here's an example of mine. I've done this. I know I'm being a bit corny, but this really happened. I did this in 2018. I wrote down all my goals. I didn't actually just do it for stream. I did it at New Year's. I did it for many different things in life, but these are my stream ones. I wanted to hit 2,000 subs, 100,000 followers, 1 million unique viewers. I wanted to be punctual, and I wanted to go full time. And I went 4 for 5. 4 for 5 is pretty good. That is pretty good. 4 for 5. We'll take 80%. That's a B minus. That's a 3.0. Almost 2.667. Still pretty close. Still pretty close. At the end of the day, I was able to set goals and then hit them. I hit these goals by the end of 2018. And then I was able to keep going. Part of the reason you do this is because, hey, it's very obvious that streaming's not for everyone. It's also obvious that it's better to take a shot on something than to never try it and regret that. But how do you know how long to do it or what to do? Well, this does that all for you. If you write down your goals and you set a time frame to hit the goals in, then at the end of the period, right, at the end of next year, 2022, you can reflect. You can be like, hey, I went 0 for 5. My goal was to hit 100 average viewers and I'm at 15. Maybe I am not cut out for being a big streamer. And that's an honest conversation you can have with yourself, but only if you do the work now to set goals, to set a time frame, to understand it, rather than just kind of 9 to 5 grind. I just go live. I'm just doing my thing. I've been doing this since 2018. That's all shit. All right? At least set yourself some sort of time frame so you have some sort of growth and progression that you can accurately and objectively look back on. I've also put the 5 streamers that I liked and thought I could emulate. CD the Third, I think he was one of the best streamers, still is, in terms of integrating music. If you've ever thought like, damn, Ludwig uses music well on stream, that's because CD in the Third. Nick Merckx, he's great with his community, and he added stakes to every single Fortnite game. He taught me a bit about stakes. He taught me a lot about community. Soda, I've always thought was like the GOAT streamer. I thought he was like the best streamer. I know nowadays he just does whatever the fuck he wants, but I thought through and through, in terms of like, if you were to look at any streamer, I still think Soda Poppin' probably the GOAT. Clint, I thought his YouTube was some of the best shit. He was able to turn just random streams into really good YouTube videos, and he was very personable. But, you know, obviously I can't emulate Clint to a T. He has this ability that every single fucking human on earth just loves Clint Stevens no matter what. I don't have that. You can think I have that. I promise you I don't have that. And then finally, Mango, a man who has maybe 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, but 10,000 subs. If you sub to him, unsub, and then resub 3 months later, this is true, Mango will remember, and he'll call it out. He'll be like, oh, Pirate Oliver, hey, you're a resub, aren't you? You used to sub like 3 months ago. And so his ability to remember made people, and he has this superpower, I truly believe, to make people feel so included, which sometimes involves making people feel very excluded so that everyone else feels included. But that's besides the point. That's my 5.
Oh yeah, right. I hope you've written everything down.
Yeah, I wrote some down.
If you didn't write anything down, but you want to be a streamer, this is the #1 best thing you can do. The absolute only lesson to take away from today if you want to make it big on Twitch. Quit. Fucking quit right now. That is my advice to you. Yeah. If you didn't even take the 1 to 2 minutes to write something down from a man who is a top 100 streamer who knows a thing or two, then I promise you, you will not make it through 0 1-viewer streams for 5-6 hours at a time. It's gonna be miserable. You're gonna hate it. It's not gonna be fun, and you're not gonna achieve your goals if you didn't even write them down in the first place. And this is not trying to be mean, but let's just take a guess. Chat, I want you to guess right now. Tell me the number of people who streamed last month. 50,000, sure. 650,000, wow. 5 million, okay, sure. Big range, it is 6.9 million. 6.9 million unique streamers every month. Streaming is not as it was in 2013. It is.
All right, we're gonna skip ahead a bit, but I hope like everybody gets the point. Like you need to. The best way to like get ahead on these is like you need to like have a guiding star. You need to create your own, and you need to like start consuming your favorite products, your favorite like content, and like trying to figure out yourself like why do I like it? Why do I like it? What do I find so good about it? And like how can I take that stuff and like make it my own? Because we live in a world where everything's not 100% original, and like honestly you don't need to work that hard. And actually need to. And now we skip ahead because all this is like more technical stuff.
So now we know how to grow. We know that you want to stream, why you want to stream, what your goals are for stream, how to stream. Now we have to think of ideas that work for you. I'm giving you examples of my life, of Mr. Beast, of Small Ant, but maybe those don't work for you. And a lot of ideas that we do won't work for you. It's just a fact that you will not likely, and maybe I'm wrong, have a relationship with Technoblade to stream with him. That is probably just the case. You probably just won't be able to do that. You probably don't have $30,000 to spend on Pokemon cards or whatever big Mr. Beast cost thing he does. You probably don't. But you can spend that time thinking of ideas that do work for you. And I cannot tell you how many times I look in my DMs and I see someone who thinks of an idea that would work if they only had X money, X number of viewers, 5K viewers, if they were friends with me, if they were friends with Corpse, whatever. And that's fine. That's great. Wow, great idea. Hopefully you get there to do it. But you're not there. So why are you wasting your time thinking of videos, streams that you will never be able to do? That is a waste of time. That is fantasy. That is not strategy. Think of things that work for you. And there are things that exist. I made money by donating to streamers. This is one of my favorite YouTube videos. I thought of this idea where I would donate to streamers, have them go to a website where I made merch, and then see if I could get merch sales. I thought of this idea. I immediately went to record it. It took me 2 hours top to bottom. I finished it. It was edited. It was uploaded like a couple days later, and it has almost 1 million views on YouTube. It's one of my favorite videos. You know how much it cost me? $48. That is it. $48 in 2 hours. And it has almost 1 million views. Anybody could have done this video. It's $48, but that's less than the price of a video game. I'm sure that if you just saved up, if you're tight for money, you could have made it happen too. Or done it for even less if you really want it. This video is one of my proudest videos. And I know it's not a stream necessarily, but this still does bring up the issue that you need to solve of thinking of ideas that you can do. Does that make sense? There's a lot of videos that you can do. So when you're thinking of your 3 to 5 streamers, all right, don't look at what you can't do from their discography. Look at what you can do. If you look at what you can't do, you're never going to be able to make content for yourself. You'll only be thinking of content for other people, which is a waste of time. It's a total waste of time. That's just as bad as me imagining what I would do if I was in the Super Bowl and I was in Tom Brady's shoes. I'd throw a Hail Mary. That's what I would do. Tom, you should do that. Doesn't make any goddamn sense. I'm not going to be in the Super Bowl. Next. We've thought of ideas that work for you, how to do them, but what do you stream? This is a very basic question that people always ask. It's maybe the number one question. What do you stream, Ludwig?
Sorry about that. A little
Okay,
more
good question.
Ludwig,
What do
and
you
then
stream?
we.
Sure.
then we
Okay,
move
let's talk
on.
about it. I first and foremost think this question is probably talked about too much. Because as long as you are doing everything in the streams like recordings section, then what you stream isn't as important. You know what I mean? Because you can really make anything work. There is one thing that I've done that will always work. It's tried and true. This is the number one thing you need to stream to make it big. The yoink and twist, baby. What everybody else is doing. That's right. Yes, you do not have to rewrite the entire playbook. We do not need a New Testament. We're good. Jesus got it down the first time. Yoink and twist. Look, I'm not saying to carbon copy because people notice, people will make fun of you. You can't just do it one-to-one because honestly, you won't do it as good most of the time anyway. You can yoink and twist. So I saw, here's one example. This video Sodapoppin did a few years ago. When Stream goes shopping for $1,000, you know what he would do in this video? It was a stream that he made a video. He would have people send him links and he would click on them and he would either buy them or not buy them. It was totally his decision. He was like, oh, this is funny, I'll buy it. Or, oh, this isn't funny, I'm not going to buy it. That was it. And I was like, that's interesting. But what if I did that and I had chat vote? That might be kind of funnier if chat is the one who votes. That way I literally have no say. It adds a little bit more stakes. It gets chat a little bit more involved and it allows for like, I think a little bit cooler of an experience. Then I saw this Mr. Beast video. I gave my credit card to random people. And I thought, well, I'm doing this Amazon stream, but in reality, what I'm doing is since I'm letting them vote, I'm kind of just giving my credit card to stream. So I saw this thumbnail. I kind of made my own version for my content that was originally based off a video I saw Sodapoppin make. And so you add both of those together and you get, I gave my credit card to stream. And that's it. And that's the total entire idea of how I came up with this video. And the video did pretty well for me. 557,000 views is well above average. That's a good amount of views for me. It certainly didn't beat the originals, which is why you can't be a carbon copy anyway, because you do cap yourself at a ceiling. So you have to pull from a lot of people. And this is fine to do. Maybe it feels scummy or bad, but I promise you that there is very little to no originality in streaming or YouTube. Mizkif is swapping his unbanned forms with Maya today. Wow, that's a really good idea, Mizkif. I like it a lot. Let's just go ahead and take a look at a video I made a couple of days ago. Oh, I swapped streams with Cutie Cinderella. Oh, interesting. Oh, it was unbanned forms. Huh, interesting. That's fine. I don't have any claim over it, all right? But at the end of the day, if you are the first to it, you will probably be more successful. If they don't add their own twist, they are capped to what they pulled from. That's just how it works. You have to add your own twist or else you have a ceiling. All right, let's give you another example. Point Crow Wikipedia race.
All right, you get the point. You don't have to like reinvent the wheel here. You don't have to be like super. You don't have to be like super Mr. Original. All you have to do is like take inspiration for as much as you can and like do the work. Anyway, that's enough from him. So just to like sum up, when it comes to being unique, it is intrinsic to being you, just being yourself. Look at other works to find out more about yourself, and don't waste time trying to come up with something 100% new. Like if you like what somebody else is doing, just take inspiration, remix it, make your own, or just like put it through your own filter, and then there you go, you got something new. Like I said before, start watching more stuff you like, and more good stuff. Start thinking critically of like what works with the stuff you watch, like why you like it, why you hate it, and what you do. Editing. This one won't be as long as the other one. Where is? It's actually one of my favorite YouTubers. He does game reviews, and once he hit like 100,000 subs, he actually put out what you call it. But before we start, does anybody have any questions? Like, what we went over Ludwig is like actually like one of the most important stuff. Like coming up with concepts and using them.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah, what's up?
So, you said to be yourself, right?
Yes.
What if being yourself, what if you have to change yourself to be like a good streamer?
Broke.
YouTuber?
You're broke.
Are you
Wait,
right?
You were
Andre-
broke.
Yo, I would like to respond. Are you racist? If the answer is no, then you probably don't gotta change yourself. You know what I mean?
But what if you're boring?
Well, the thing
You're
is, like,
boring.
oh my gosh.
I'm asking a
over.
teacher.
It's over.
All right, so the thing about it is, like, it's a whole lot of experimentation. Like, I believe anybody can be made entertaining. And you don't really have to do much. Just like lean into what you think works or not. Like, ooh, no, it's a good one. Seth Everman. Everybody knows who Seth Everman, right? Is right.
Nah.
Musician, sir.
He's a
On YouTube.
musician on YouTube.
Bald. He's very bald.
He is the most deadpan dude you ever see.
Oh, I know this guy.
But like, crap. Like, look at him. He's huge. He like he leans into like him being like a flat dead self, and like leans into deadpan humor. Like you just need to find like your best qualities and put it out there more. You don't have to change yourself, because like if you change yourself, you become fake, and people feel that. People honestly to goodness feel that. And like people just stop watching. Like people don't like fake stuff. So like it's kind of like dating. You want to put your best foot forward, but like you don't want to put like a veneer. Because like if you put a veneer, like that's it. You're either gonna like live that and be miserable, or like people are gonna feel that off the cuff and just like walk away.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Peach.
No problem, no problem. Alright, let's move on. Alright, he's gonna, like, it's funny because I already said this, but he's gonna off the cuff say something I already said.
For audio software, just get Audacity. It's free. If you can only choose one, which do you think is more important? Your audio quality or your video quality? Let's do a quick comparison and think about which one you would turn off first. Hey everyone, welcome to my Project Ascension video. I know my footage is a little choppy, but I want to talk about one of the classes here. So if you're looking to explode people from across the map, I have a really good idea that can help.
Hey everyone, this is my video on Metro Last Light. It's not actually going to be about the main game, but it's going to be about the DLC. This DLC. I've been playing it for a while. It's pretty good.
Let's talk about audio setup. For a YouTube video, your visuals are important, but audio can be even more helpful. More and more people are starting to listen to YouTube videos as background audio, so you want to make sure that's nice and clean. You don't need to look around for the highest end equipment, especially for YouTube. They still compress the audio down pretty heavily. It seems most people starting off get a Blue product, either a Blue Snowball or a Blue Yeti. A properly set up Yeti can work great for YouTube. To give a quick rundown, a Blue Yeti is a USB microphone. You can plug it in and configure it with very little hassle. Most stage microphones and professional microphones in general use an XLR cable instead. USB microphones convert analog signals into digital signals with an onboard converter and put it into your computer. This is where USB quality can suffer a bit. An XLR microphone doesn't have that converter. You need a separate audio interface for that, like this one. Some interfaces come with helpful software, options for mixing audio more, and other quality of life features. Most importantly for our case, they do a better job at converting audio from analog to digital. Now you don't need to break the bank to get one. Mine was about $30 on eBay. You can buy a lot of good audio stuff on eBay. Not that everything there is good. I'm currently using an AT2020. That one also comes in a USB version. There's a great video called How to Be an Online Voice Actor that can teach you more about audio interfaces and microphones. You could be on destitute budget and recording with a cell phone or a $5 plug-in desk mic. Your cheapest option is probably using Audacity. It can remove background audio like a computer fan or an air vent or something you have no control over. Even the best audio equipment won't help if your room isn't ideal for recording in, especially in the corners. You don't have to cover everything with it, but consider getting some foam. I use a website called Foam by Mail, which is fairly cheap for the product. Putting some bass absorbers in the corners could help reduce echo by a lot. You don't have to redo takes or over-edit audio if there's no echo to deal with. They're so light that I've actually gotten away with using T-pins to hold them up. No glue, big holes, or anything the landlord won't like. Using pins and command hooks to stitch things together isn't pretty at all, but it works. It's good if you're renting. If you do get flat foam, focus on the wall in front of you, and especially the wall behind you. There are a lot of guides out there about acoustic treatment, and they'll vary based on what your room is like. If even foam is out of budget, then throw a blanket over yourself. When editing audio for a video, you don't want it to sound too jarring.
There's no joke.
If you
That
use
is no
in-game
joke.
audio and rapidly
That's
switch
actually
between all the
that is
clips,
actually
it
tech.
can sound really odd. Here's me working on the Stronghold video. The scenes are good for showing contradiction, but they could be jarring. I don't want to scare anyone or blow their eardrums out, so what do I do here? I lower the volume of the battle clip and then crossfade it into the other one. That way it gently transitions in.
We await your orders.
In-game music can make editing for a video harder, but there are ways around it. I want to go from this battle into the video intro animation. The clip isn't long enough for that, and the sounds of in-game battle will be there with the music, so what do? The GOG copy of the game includes a soundtrack, so I just need to find that music that was used in the battle and then line it up in the video. After playing it by eye and ear, I think I have them both nearly lined up with each other. Now the in-game music is continuing, and I'm not switching out audio too much. Of course, the sound effects need to be balanced out too. I fade the in-game sounds out, and fade the soundtrack sound in. Let's see how it did.
Wolves are attacking, my lord. We await your orders.
This is effective to do and good for not assaulting people's ears. When you add your own voice into the mix, you'll need to make sure that stands out as well. Some of my earlier videos had really poor audio mixing in areas, and it still bothers me. Moving on. Your main limits in video editing are your imagination and your software. I've personally always gone for a very simple style of editing. Videos that had constant visual gags and flip transitions were getting me dizzy, or maybe I was going crazy. I don't forego these completely and still use them from time to time. I use them so rarely that when I do, it helps emphasize a point. Most of the more advanced stuff I do for editing is a sound effect or a visual effect that's usually hidden in plain sight. It's fun for me when people call me out on them, and there are still a few hidden that I don't think anyone's noticed yet. For the meat of the video, I have a very strong emphasis on show and tell. If I'm talking about something, I try my best to have it on screen. If I'm watching a video while someone is naming off exotic weapons or enemies you can face but doesn't show anything and just shows one long clip, it gets really irritating for me. Audio is essential, but people are still going to watch the video. So while my editing is simple, the actual preparation time is pretty long. When I'm done recording a game, I could have hundreds to thousands of clips to go through. I go through all of them to remove things like duplicate clips and junk files. When I'm done recording, I have hundreds, sometimes thousands of clips to go through. Some clips I might give a label to. Like if I was going through the weapons in an FPS game, I might call them Wep Laser, Wep Machine Gun, etc. Now when I'm editing, I could just type in what I need, and there it is. I usually still find a few duplicates this way. This is a dry process that takes hours, but it saves headaches later on. The editing will be much more enjoyable with proper preparation. You could also follow the route of recording giant clips at a time, but you might want to start a timer when you do that. When something important happens, you can timestamp it in a notepad or on your phone. Otherwise, you might have to go through hours of footage just to find something specific, and you probably don't want that. Another good tip is to never, ever update your video software during a project. You should only want to update if it's to fix a bug or a new feature you want. Updates can usually cause more trouble than they do help. Another good preparation tip is to account for things going wrong. You should be mindful of this, especially with any older games. Some might have an obvious issue that you'll need to fix before you can start recording the game. Armed and Dangerous here was running a little bit too quickly when I first started it. Other problems might show up only after recording. In Necrovision, the recording indicator kept popping in and out. When I was recording the original Stronghold, it would sometimes randomly flicker to my desktop, but only when I was recording. Sometimes the recording would be fine even though I saw the desktop in real life, but it would do the opposite as well. An editor preview might not show me that mistake, so I had to double check all my footage. Your style of editing is all up to you. No matter what, having what's on screen complementing what you're saying helps your ideas flow better. If I'm going to talk about farming, I might not want to show the Flaming Inferno. Speaking of which, you may be wondering what to say for the video. Here's why I'm doing that after recording and video editing stuff. Maybe you think Mass Effect 1 is the best game in the series, and you want to make a video about why. You know it stuck with you, so you spend a long time scripting it all out. Now you just need to get the footage and you're done with the video. Oh, that's right. You might have forgotten about some stuff. So now your script needs some rewrites, probably significant ones. If you had just played the game first, you wouldn't need to be rearranging stuff to that degree. You might notice other things you really liked that you didn't think about when you were first writing it. It's fresh in your mind after playing it. Starting your writing after playing the game makes the most sense. Don't start writing based off a distant memory. You shouldn't go looking for things that confirm the script you wrote before. You should be finding the things to make your script in the first place. Getting your thoughts in order is one of the most challenging parts for me. What I've learned is that you should treat your ideas like directions on a map and not a Bible. Sometimes I record a lot of footage of something I think will be a big deal. I go, man, some of these sound effects are annoying. Then I start recording my voice and putting the video together. Is a sound effect telling a player that their reputation changed really a big deal? Not really, but I still could mention it. But in the grand scheme of the game, it really is a minuscule issue. I don't want to
Sorry about that. All right. So does anybody have any questions before we move on? Because basically outside of that, like the really basic stuff, you just like look up tutorials.
Yeah, I got a question.
Hmm.
Uh,
Alright.
so when it comes to like making like your first video or whatever,
Hmm.
it's good. It's good to just do something you like,
Yes.
something you're knowledgeable about.
Yes. If you're not liking it, there's like literally no point.
Okay, yeah, cause I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't even know what to fucking make, you know?
That's why you always want to, like, even though now that like I'm at the point where I'm actively getting punished for like going off the going off the beaten path for videos that I um going off the beaten path for like videos I kind of want to do, but I'm not big enough to like expand yet. I am glad I started with like doing fighting game history reviews because like that actually interests me. Like the little stuff that happens when creating a game, that's actually like extremely cool. And if you don't start, I'll send you those. I'll send you those like tutorials later.
Why's everyone muted?
It's class time.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, we're in class.
Bro, the teacher's talking, bro. Dude.
Alright, shut the fuck up. I already got it.
But like, if you don't work on something that you don't like, that is going to drain you, and you will stop doing it.
Yeah.
So like, I know like you like Sonic stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like if you do like all like a Sonic YouTube channel and also do fighting games, like that's you never want to like deviate from like what you like and don't like, because then you'll end up like Dion, who like Dion hates JoJo's. If you ever seen Dion's channel, he got big off of doing JoJo's, but like he got burnt out of it because like he started not liking it. Because you never want to do something you don't like.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prof.
No problem, no problem. Alright, let's get through this. So that was probably like this part was like the bulk of it. Let's see, editing. Also, just look up basic how-to videos. Like editing is like super freeform. There's like no. There are like some basics like when you have to worry about like different kind of cuts and stuff. But like just look up like basic how-to videos. Kind of all draw from the same place. The last skill you have to worry about, and like once again, this is the modifier skill. This is what will get you ahead. It is the marketing skill. So stuff you have to worry about, of course, thumbnails and titles. CTR we'll talk about in a little bit. SEO, search title optimization, which is like the good old algorithm. All content sites now have an algorithm to it, and like you kind of have to abuse it to get seen, which seems like mega lame, and it is mega lame, but like you'd rather make good content and then abuse the system than have people who like make bad content and abuse the system. So stuff that goes to search, SEO, you have titles. Once again, you have descriptions and you have tags, which I'll explain in a little bit. And also into there, you have interactions like likes, comments, and AVD. So you have the algorithm. Algorithm is the rule of the game. Each site has a different one, once again, but they pretty much look for the same thing. They want interactions, they want people doing stuff on their site, and they want to keep people on their site. Twitter's the same way. TikTok's the same way. Twitch should be the same way, but like Twitch needs to rebuild their stuff. Like, and also Facebook's the same way. All of them, same way. Does the same thing. Interactions. And I'm using like YouTube as a base because that's normally what I do. From top to bottom, you have subscriptions. Subscriptions matter a lot. If you get lots of subs from a video, that video would do super well. Same thing with comments. If you have people talking to each other in the bottom, that's a really good thing. In fact, when you make a video and like you can do a call to action, which is basically like you want your audience to kind of do something. So say something like, "Hey, go ahead and subscribe to me." That's a call to action. But also like asking your audience a question is a call to action. So like I'm working on an Under Night video, and in that Under Night video, I ask people, "Hey, what is your favorite French bread opening?" So like Under Night, Melty Blood, Denki Bunko, whatever. And then like you have the ones that matter the least, which is likes, which self-explanatory. Stuff to worry about is CTR, which is click-through rate. It's percentage of people who scroll past your video and who actually scroll to your video and click on it. Because let's see, I actually brought up something for this. This is the load. So right here, if I scroll down these videos, all these videos are like have a lower click-through rate. I just screwed all these people. But like as soon as I click it, their click-through rate goes up. Click-through rate is important, and even though because having a high click-through rate means the video is going to explode. Like it's going to get huge. And having anything above like 10% is 5 to 10% is average, depending on which audience your video is going for. If you get past the average, it'll push it out to more people that's outside the audience, and if it keeps on getting above the pale, it just keeps on pushing it. Next thing, average view duration. Average view duration, once again, super important, is how much of the video people watch. The higher the better, of course. It's pretty if you have people watch more of the video, then it'll get pushed out. So to kind of summarize these, click-through rate. That click-through rate is important because how to work on click-through rates, like having your clickbait on point. How you get a higher average view duration is actually just legitly just making a good video. Thumbnails and titles. Clickbait is about making the subject sound as interesting as possible. And honestly, it's something oh my. 1 second. Just screw it, I'll put it right here. Anyway, titles on them. It's making the subject sound as exciting as possible so people click. What makes clickbait good or bad is if you deliver on the promise that your clickbait makes. So like, if you tell them like, "Oh man, this is the most interesting game in the world," and it's not the most interesting game in the world, you just lied to you just lied to the people, and you're gonna get retribution for that. Like, don't do that. If you're going to clickbait people, or rather, you kind of have to in this world, which sucks, but make sure you make sure you deliver on the promise that you made. When it comes to thumbnails, you want the thumbnails to be readable on a phone screen. Most, like 80% of people on YouTube are watching it on a phone. So if it's not readable, which is like why I use like some examples of my small thumbnails that I made. If it's not readable, then people just like think like, what in the world is that, and not click on it. It's important to keep thumbnails simple. Thumb, you want to use normally the rule of threes, which is like you use 3 subjects. So like, say you want to make a thumbnail, you want to have like a person, that's one subject, like taking up the whole screen. You want to have a big text, that's another element, that's 2. You don't want to like have like 2 more elements to add to there, unless you're like built different. Like a lot of this stuff is, you can kind of throw away all this once you like learn how to play the game well and like make your own style. But you want to learn the rules before you can like explore more. Your titles should be under 60 characters because you once again, people mostly use phones, and you don't want your title to be cut off. Like that stuff happened to me once. The video did not do well. It's kind of like a little embarrassing. You also want your title and thumbnail to spark interest. You want people to click on it once they see it, and also have it set up and open a question. Like let's have some examples here. Actually, all right. So here's one of my favorite. Here's one of my favorite. What you call them? One of my favorite YouTubers. His name is Implement. You see here a lot of like. You see a lot of two element. He likes to do a lot of 2 element thumbnails. And his titles normally just open up a question, like tell you exactly what's happening. The art of choke, what it means to choke, like what do you mean exactly? Mac Tonight. If you don't know who Mac Tonight is, you like ask who in the world is Mac Tonight, and like the video is literally about a character named Mac Knight. There'll never be another Simpsons like Homer's at like you see what it is. The titles and thumbnails should work together, because if like they're telling 2 different stories, then people get confused and then they won't click it. And everything I just told you, take with a grain of salt. You want it to grab people's attention, and you want people to know that it's your video. That's the basic 2 rules of like titles and thumbnails, because like a huge example of somebody that does this well, Uncle Salad Bar, or Ulrich Salad Bar. Like he has a direct style with his thumbnails, so like every time you see it, even though it's like a little messy but it still works, you can tell like from the get-go that it's something he made. A little bit the same with Glink, but like his kind of go everywhere. And the same with Seth, which I actually don't recommend. Like Seth was one of my favorites, but I don't recommend him like often. It's a particular humor. Descriptions. Descriptions should work with the title. It's also where YouTube grabs keywords for search. So keywords is basically like the obvious stuff, like you want to put the game name if you're doing games inside the description. so they'll know like, hey, this video is about this game. The first characters matter. The first 500 characters matter, and you want to put important keywords in the front, and it's the same with the title. With the title, you want to put important keywords in the front, and you want to fill this description as many keywords as possible. Then make it readable, because you don't want to like have a jumbled mess of keywords. Tags, honestly, they're whatever. You want to put them in there. They're like a bunch of like, you'll see them once you like make a video. Just like put a bunch of random words in there. It literally nobody sees them. They're like in the background, but just want to make them like relevant to what the video is about. So we're at the end. General tips. Learn the rules of the site for the site you're growing in. Of course, pick one to start with and like spread to get big. When it comes to YouTube, watch time. I already explained all that. Click through rate. I just already said that. The important thing about content creation, no one cares about you unless you're giving them something first. So like if you're doing a bunch of passion projects and they're like made specifically for you, which like honestly every once in a while you should do, but like don't be surprised if somebody doesn't care. When you're making something, you're both making it for yourself and also giving people
I have a question.
experience. What's up?
What if you only care about making passion projects for yourself?
I would put it in a way.
Like, what if that's like the whole reason you even want to like make videos to begin with, you know?
I would put it in a way that would like service people about it. Like you want to actually no. I think Glink is actually a really good person for this. Glink does mini documentaries, alright? These are all like passion projects for like random subjects. So like he does one for VTubing, his disdain for how Apple ruined the internet, his dislike for the education system, but how he doesn't like LA, but like what he does is he packs it with information so you get like and context to know why he doesn't like it. And he also makes the editing is so good. It's just like entertaining watching why he likes something, why he doesn't like something. It's made in a way so it's informational and entertaining. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
All you really need to do is like make it into a way where people will get something from it. If only you get something from it, like which isn't bad, and sometimes you'll link to people who are you'll link with people who are like you, but in order to get like big, you kind of has to service people a bit. That should be a better way to explain this. But you kind of get what I'm getting at.
Yeah, you're spitting.
Alright, where was I? Alright. So, next point, fish until you find some networks, then grind it out and get better at it. I said better. Wow. Get better at it. And don't forget to spread out every once in a while. So, like, even though once you get YouTube likes to pigeonhole you into like doing one thing. Even if you like get hit, take a little bit of hit for it, which like YouTube is a non-losing game, so you could just do it. Um, don't forget to spread it out every once in a while. You don't want to become one note. And sometimes when you kind of like your attempt to spread out with like create a new route for you, which you can also explore. Because like people do the same thing over and over again. It kind of gets old after a while. And if you don't spread out, you're kind of like once people get bored of you, you're pretty much stuck. So like always, even if the video doesn't do well, like always like explore. Like if a bad video is not exactly a bad video. It's like it's information that you can able to take in for your next step. And this one's kind of like a half note. Make videos in an unsaturated market. You'll grow hugely if you do, but if you don't, no one really cares. People will literally watch a bunch of videos on the same subject, and it's basically like the meme where it's just like, oh boy, two cakes. People honestly do that. Don't worry about being good. It takes about 100 videos on average to get good on like content creation in general. Hopefully, with all this knowledge, you'll be able to cut down that by like down to 25. But still, like Marquez Brownlee, Mr. Beast took thousands of videos before they got good. But like with all the information out on the internet, like you can do that in like half the time, or not even half the time, like a tenth of the time. Be sure to work a little bit every day. Even if you like having a script, making a script and like put one letter down. That's building a habit on working on every day. I mean, who can't put one letter down? Even if you have to like delete it later, it's nothing. Be consistent. Is recommended that you have like 2 to 4, 5 to 12-minute videos every month. But like when you're just starting out, literally just put them out when you get done. Getting something out is better than getting nothing out. And if you like try to plan, you will literally just like burn yourself out. So just do what you can. And honestly, getting it done is better than having it perfect. Like it may be a little like ego death, but like it doesn't matter. Big question I get asked a lot. Should you stream? I'm going to say no for that because streaming is interacting with your fans. And if you don't have any fans, then you're kind of like literally streaming to the void or like a couple of friends. And you're not getting like the full streaming. You're not getting the full streaming experience. Streaming in general doesn't really grow your fan base until you get to like a certain benchmark, which you're like, most people are not going to hit that benchmark anytime soon. So, yes, it gets your fan base from somewhere else. But I would say still stream because it's good practice for when you get to that benchmark, and also you can stream for YouTube. So like, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen how you say it, Roll Nova and Lord Night videos, which is basically like him cutting down his stream videos and putting it on YouTube. Like that is literally a pipeline. If this wasn't almost an hour, I would show you like go back to the Ludwig video, which is basically like he tells you the whole pipeline. But like you honestly don't have to worry about that once you're starting. And the most important part is to have fun. Like exploring your creative side is like the most fun part about this So like, if you're having fun, if you're not having fun, just stop. Like, it's gonna be a little. I will presense this for saying like, at first you're gonna be learning a lot of like different skills. So it's gonna be uncomfortable. There's a lot of sub skills to making videos and content. So like, you're gonna be learning and it's gonna feel very uncomfortable. You're gonna have fun. You're not gonna have a lot of fun, but you're gonna have fun. So yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Like, this is like the end. Yeah, that's the end. What's up?
So, I told you about the whole thing that I want to do, the whole like BB Tag 101.
Mm-hmm.
What is a good length for videos or something like that?
Alright, so what's a good length for a video? Honestly, as much as you can. You want to, like, people have short attention span, so you kind of want to make it as short as possible, but like, if you need to put all the information in, with just like, with BB Tag 101, you kind of, it's going to be a long video. It's kind of hard to dictate how long it's going to be, because like, you don't want to cut it short and like miss information, but you also don't want like to ramble a lot. You don't want to ramble a lot.
I was thinking maybe 3 to 4 minutes. I don't know if that's a good time period. Maybe even less. Like somewhere around 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Just quick to the point.
I guess you can, because like, crap. Crap. If it shows up, because like when Dion made one. Dion made one that's like literally just 40 minutes. Like but it goes with a lot of stuff. No, I just went through like all the missions. Actually, no, I think you can boil it down to like much more. But like, just it literally just like, it sounds like extremely artsy fartsy when I say this, but like the video will kind of decide how long it is. Like, don't be afraid of making it too short and making it too long. Like, the video will decide. As long as you don't ramble, you're good.
Okay. Oh, another question. What's good editing software? I missed that part.
1 second. Good editing software. Somewhere around here. Nope. Technical skill. There you go. So, for free, you have DaVinci Resolve, which is basically like the best one for free. But also you have like paid stuff, quote unquote. So, there you go.
Is there a link to this PowerPoint?
No. I could just like. Post it in the mic.
Okay.
Alright, I think I'm done. We just